A spinning disk hard drive and a DVD drive. Two very different things, and yet if you have to choose between them, what are the comparisons? And if you guys think of any that I have not thought of in this video, let us know in the comments and we can all learn from things like that. So, in what situation may you have to choose between those two? Well, if you're building a computer and you run into this situation where you only have one spare SATA cable, and you have two devices to plug in, what are the pros and cons of the different ones? Why might you want one or the other? Or perhaps you have enough SATA cables, but your motherboard does not have enough ports. That is the other possibility. And perhaps other possibilities. Let me know in the comments. Let all of us know if you guys think of any other ideas, in which case you would need to choose between them. But in any case, we shall choose between them today. First of all, what have we here? On the one hand, we have a spinning disk hard drive. It is 80 gigabytes, 80 gigabytes, and it was made in December 2006, so it may or may not work for much longer, if it even works at all. On the other hand, we have a DVD, what's this say? DVD multi-recorder, compact disc, rewritable, that's CD, DVD, DVD, RDL, super multi, drive, which is also from, where does it say? It says March 2007. So we got March 2007 versus December 2006. So not very far apart in age. So although hard drives tend to get used a lot more than DVD drives do. Pro and con number one, or was that 2 and 3 as well? I'm not sure. Anyways, moving on. In spite of its age, this hard drive is very nice. It is 7,200 RPM. For those of you guys who know what that means, basically the disc inside spins faster than your average disc, which is 5,400 RPM, and this is 7,200, so it's nice and fast for a spinning hard drive, of course. An SSD is still way faster, but that is the other point. In this particular computer build, and if you guys think of other scenarios where it may be different than this build, in this particular build, and I should probably stop moving this around so much, there is already an SSD. This is as a spare hard drive. So, pro things for the spinning disk hard drive. We've got 7,200 RPM, and it is made by Hitachi, this particular drive. And Hitachi, if I remember right, that is the same brand that made the hard drive that is in one of our iMacs downstairs, which is still running after 11 years. The hard drive is still going. I believe it's a Hitachi drive. And this hard drive, made in December 2006, is roughly the same age as the computer, which was made in 2007. Therefore, this hard drive, if anything is going to last this long, it has a chance of lasting this long. I do not know if it works, which is a con. But then again, I do not know if this works either, to be precise. So that is a con in this direction as well. However, on the plus side, this thing can read DVDs, which is very nice because DVDs work in surround sound for some of them, if they're encoded that way. There's a whole lot of surround sound DVDs, which means that you can listen to audio in surround sound through the DVD player, which YouTube videos, I do not believe they often have surround sound. I don't know if YouTube even supports it, although it's worth checking out. Therefore, a pro in the DVD drive department, there's a lot of D's for you, is watching DVDs with the surround sound speaker setup that I have over here. Sort of. I think it's a fairly old setup, and I think 4 out of the 5 speakers work. Or actually, it's 6 speakers, so that would be something like that. But back to the point, another thing in favor of the DVD drive is that it can write discs, which is very helpful because you can make things like recovery discs for the PC if you do not have a thumb drive, USB drive. So that is a huge plus on the side of the DVD drive. But on the other hand, there is a con for both of them, actually. The DVD drive. One of my relatives gave that to me, which is very much appreciated. Thank you very much. But also, I do not know why it was out of the computer in the first place. Is it out of the computer because the DVD drive was broken? Or is it out of the computer because the computer was broken, but the DVD drive was not? So this may or may not work. On the other hand, the hard drive. Another one of my relatives gave that to me, which is, again, very much appreciated. But also, when I found it, it was in a stack of hard drives on a shelf that were being gotten rid of, and I asked if I could have it, and they're like, yeah, sure. But why was it in the stack on the shelf? Could be because the computer was broken, and if the computer was broken, could it have been the hard drive that was broken? So, I do not know if the hard drive works. So, we do not know if the DVD drive works or if the hard drive works. So we got a problem. So there are all the pros and cons, but how do we solve this dilemma? Well, the best solution would be buy an extra SATA cable. That would be the best solution. However, in the meantime, well, another SATA cable has not yet arrived, or if your particular situation involves your motherboard does not have enough ports to support all of the things that you would like in the ports. Of course, if this were your situation, then you may not be having the same situation to compare as well. That is possible as well. But if you have any ideas for different scenarios in which you may want to compare a hard drive and a DVD drive, then let us know in the comments, and we can be all tech people and chat about tech stuff and things like that. But anyways, aside from buying a new cable, how are we going to solve this dilemma? Which one are we going to put first? Or the other one? Or the other way? On the one hand, we have a hard drive. On the other hand, we have actually literally on the one hand and on the other hand. So, what are we going to do about the situation? I think it may be best to install the hard drive because with this extra hard drive installed, the SSD can run Windows, and this can have Linux installed, either in a virtual machine or in a non-virtual machine, and have two operating systems in the same computer. That is possible. Also possible that it can be used with the Store MI software from AMD, because that thing, I've never used it before, but apparently you can use a hard drive and an SSD as one drive, except that my backup disk is too small to contain all of that. So that's a problem. So maybe not that just yet, but maybe in the future. However, the hard drive would perhaps be the desirable option, except for the fact that in order to create a recovery drive for the computer, it may be necessary to go with the DVD drive, because you can burn a DVD for recovering Windows if it breaks, which I assume it tends to do from what I've heard from time to time. You guys can let me know on that. For those of you guys who know already, or for those of you guys who don't know, some of you know already, I've used Macs pretty much my whole life since Windows 98. So that's that. But in any case, I could burn a recovery disk for Windows using the DVD drive. However, then again, I could turn this into a recovery disk for Windows. Although if I do that, it will not be useful for anything else. So that is that. So if I use this one, it will be recovery plus play DVDs, whereas this will be only recovery if used for recovery. So there are a whole bunch of pros and cons. If you guys have any thoughts on any other pros and cons you might have thought of, or other situations, then let us know in the comments. And see you guys later. Goodbye.